Alright, today we're going to learn about pointers in C. So maybe when you've been doing homework and you've looked online for help, you've seen code samples that have included funny things like stars in the arguments of a function, like I've got here in my quotient and remainder function. Maybe the stars are also in the body of the function. And when that function is called, often there will be ampersands. Why is that? Well, first, let's imagine a story. Say you're back in class, COVID is over, you're hanging out with your friends. You see a funny picture on your phone. There are two ways that you can share this picture with your friends. Either you can text it to them, or you can hand them your phone. In any event, one of your friends might decide that they want to draw like a mustache on a person in the picture. If you texted them the picture, then you'll never see that mustache unless your friend decides to show it to you. On the other hand, if you handed your phone to them, then you'll see the mustache as soon as you get your phone back. Well, a similar sort of thing is going on with this quotient and remainder function. The dividend and divisor arguments here are being passed to the function the same way as texting your friend the photo. You won't see any change that's done to these arguments outside of the function. However, with quotient and remainder, which have stars in front of them, you will see change, and that's good because we are changing them. Well, so what we've got in this print apples per person function is we initialize a couple of variables to represent how many apples each person gets from the total number 11 distributed to 4 people, and how many would be left over because there isn't like an even number. And we print out that amount. Well, if nothing is changing, then we'd expect for these numbers to remain 0. But if we do run the function, then we see there are 2 apples for each person with 3 left over. I think the math checks out. So these variables are changing here. So what's going on? Well, with dividend and divisor, you're passing these variables by value, meaning you're only passing in the number that's associated with the variables, not the variable itself. But with quotient and remainder, you're passing in the entire variable. So any change that's made inside the function will change the variables outside the function. In order to use this pass by pointer technique, it's called, you put a star in front of any variables that you want to be passed in this manner. You can also put the star after the type name, but I prefer putting it before the variable name. And then when you call the function, the variables that you're passing into the function need to have an ampersand ahead of them. In C, the ampersand means the address of the variable it's associated with. So here we have the address of apples per person. And the address is just the location in your computer's RAM in which the variable is located. This technique of passing by pointer can be used principally in 2 ways, but could also be used in others. In this case, I used it to make it so you can have 2 return values out of a function. Using the return keyword, you can normally only have 1, but here we have both quotient and remainder. Pass by pointer is also useful when you're referencing large objects, but you'll learn more about that when you study structs. All right, that's all I've got. If you want to review, all my notes and the code that I wrote are in the link to GitHub in the description.